Alright then my friends, so in this lesson I want to talk a little bit about events and event modifiers in Alpine.js. And I know we've already seen how to use the XOn directive to attach a click event onto a button, and in reaction we can run some code, but I want to talk about other events we can use as well, and also how to attach event modifiers to those events to kind of modify how they work a little bit. So I've already got 3 buttons here and an input field, and we're going to try adding different event listeners to each one. But before we do that, very quickly, if you're attaching an event to something with Alpine, that element has to be nested somewhere within a parent element that uses the x-data directive. So currently all of these buttons are inside the form which uses the x-data directive, so this location is fine. But if you were to move all of these elements to outside the form element and attach any kind of events on them, then it's not going to work, because up here they wouldn't have a parent which uses the x-data directive, okay? Alright, so now let's try adding some events to these buttons. So what I'm going to do then is come to the first one and I'm going to say x-on, and this is just going to be for a click event. So let's say colon and then click. We've seen this before. And then in reaction to this, all we're going to do is log to the console. So we'll say console.log, and then inside here, the name of the event, which in this case is a click event. Very standard stuff. We've seen all this before. Okay. All right. So let's have a look at a mouse leave event. Well, we'll say x-on, and then a colon, and then this time it's mouse leave, like so. And we set that equal to something. Again, it's going to be a console log, so console.log, and we will say mouse leave, like so. All right then. Next one is a double click, so we'll say x-on, colon, and then dbl click, that's the event name, and we'll set that equal to something, which again will be a console log, and it will be dbl click in here. And then finally, we have an import. And on this one, I want a key up event. So when I type a letter and then lift my finger up off the keyboard pad, then it should fire the event. So if I say x-on and then a colon and then key up, and I'm going to set that equal to a console log, which says key up. So now we've got 4 different events that we can react to, and we'll try this out in a second. First of all, I want to show you just a shorthand way of doing this x-on, which is a little bit easier, and it is just an @ symbol. So if you type @ instead of x-on and a colon, you just type the event name and set it equal to something. I think that's a little bit easier, but they both do the same thing. Anyway, let's save this and try it out. Alright, so I've got the console open and we've got these buttons here and also this input field. So let's try the click one first. Yep, that works. Mouse leave. I'm going to go into it, and then when I leave, we can see the event fired. And over here, this is a double click, so click it once, doesn't work. Double click, and it does work. And then finally, the key up event. So if I type something, then we can see key up. Now, if you keep hold of it, it's not going to fire until you let go. At that point, we see the event fire again. Awesome, so they're all working. Okay, so that's some of the events we can attach to these different elements, and there are more browser events we can listen for too, like key down or mouse enter or submit. And in fact, we're going to listen for the submit event now on the form element so that we can react to when a user submits the form. So let me come up here and I'm going to say @ which is the shorthand for attaching events, and then the event name is submit. And now we can fire some code when a user submits this form. So let's now quickly make a function in the data object inside the JavaScript file that we can then invoke when a user submits the form. And I'm going to come down here and make a function called submit form, but you can call it whatever you want. Then inside that function, all I want to do is log out the values from the form, which are stored inside these properties. So let me say console.log, and then inside that we'll start with the username by saying this to reference the data object itself, and then the property name, which is username. And then after that, I'm just going to paste in the rest of these so that we're logging all of the values out to the console. Okay, so now we can reference the function name from the submit event handler that we just added to the form. So let's do that now. And now in a browser, you can see I've already filled in the form and I'm going to submit this shortly. But when I do, it's not going to work as expected and the page will actually just refresh. So let's try submitting this. And yep, the whole page refreshes and we barely saw that console log. It did flash in, but we didn't really see it. Now, this is happening because the default behavior of a form in a browser is that when it gets submitted, the browser reloads the page. That's just a standard HTML thing. But we don't want that to happen. And instead, we want to prevent that default behavior so that the page doesn't refresh. And instead, we just see those values logged to the console. And we can do that in Alpine by using an event modifier. So, like I mentioned before, event modifiers allow us to modify how an event behaves. And they're a common feature in loads of different libraries and frameworks like Vue, Livewire, Svelte I think uses them, and of course Alpine does as well. And the way we use a modifier is by coming to the event and then adding a dot, and then whatever modifier we want to use. Now there's a bunch of different modifiers we can use, but the one we want right now for this event is called prevent. And this prevents the default behavior of the event from occurring. In this case, it prevents the page from reloading. Now, if we try this, it should work a little better and it shouldn't reload the page now. But before we try it out, let's also add a couple of different event modifiers to these buttons up here as well, just so we can see them in action. So I'm going to come to the first one, which is the click event, and I'm going to say dot shift to add the shift modifier to it. And that means for this event to be triggered, I have to hold down the shift while I click the button, otherwise it won't work. Likewise, I'm going to add the control modifier to the mouse leave event, which means I need to have the control button pressed down when I leave the button with the mouse for this event to be triggered. All right, so let's try these out then. All right, so let's try these buttons first of all. Now, if I click, nothing's happening because I have to hold down shift, which I am doing now, then click, and it works. Awesome. Mouse leave, nothing happening. If I hold down, not shift this time, sorry. If I hold down control and leave, well, then it does work. All right, so let's fill this out. I'm going to say Mario, and then test, and then test, and then down here, black belt, hello. And let's try submitting the form. This time it should prevent the default behavior, which was the refresh, and we should just see the logs over here, submit, and yes, we see all those. Awesome.